Thank you, Prabhuji, for coming to Bharati. Just for my own purification and for glorification of Maharaj, will just speak few words. Maharaj took spiritual life in 1980. So since then, about 42 years, Maharaj is serving Srila Prabhupada, and we are so much indebted to Maharaj for kind mercy. So during his difficult time of this communist era, when the Committee of State Security KGB was in Russia was harassing the spiritual practitioner, at that time Maharaj took the service, spiritual service. And despite the obstacles as a scientist, a Moscow State University graduate as Maharaj, he decided to experiment with Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which moved him profoundly. From 1988 till 1995, Maharaj was head of the translation department of North European DBT, translating Srila Prabhupada's books into the Russian language and other languages of Soviet bloc. In 1995, Maharaj officially took the lead of society in Russia. He acted as a member of ISKCON governing body commission from 1997 till 1970, when he took GBC position. His main zonal responsibilities were Moscow and most of Russian regions. He also took responsibility in Armenia, Georgia, Israel, and South Korea. In 2001, Maharaj took sannyas along with his present name. He traveled widely throughout the world, sharing Krishna consciousness in his own unprecedented manner. Since 2005, he has been serving as one of the initiating gurus of ISKCON. In 2010, Russian Federation awarded Bhakti Vijnana Goswami Maharaj a medal for his contribution in strengthening Russian-Indian friendly relations and for his contribution to the popularization of the spiritual culture, literary heritage of India. So, His Holiness Bhakti Vijnana Goswami Maharaj ki just chant one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam in glorification. Krishna Vimukasya Deva Adharmasila Shasudukhitasya Anugrahayeha Charanti Nunam Bhutani Bhavyani Janasasya. Bhakti Vijnana Goswami Maharaj ki chant 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Namo Bhagavate
Understanding of material nature. यथा हि अप्रतिबोधस्य प्रस्वापः बहु अनर्था वृत् सः एव प्रतिबोधस्य न वै मोहया कल्पते यथा प्रतिबुद्धस्य प्रस्वको बह्वनर्थकृत् सैव प्रतिबुद्धस्य न वै मोहाय कल्पते यथा प्रतिबुद्धस्य प्रस्वको सैव प्रतिबुद्धस्य न वै मोहाय कल्पते As he indeed apratibudhasya of one who is sleeping. Prasvapaha, the dream. Bahu anartha bearing many inauspicious things. Saha eva, that very dream. Pratibhudasya, of one who is awake. Now, why? Certainly. Mohaya, for bewildering. Kalpate, capable. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vijnana Swami. In the dreaming state, one's consciousness is almost covered, and one sees many inauspicious things. But when he is awakened and fully conscious, such inauspicious things cannot delude him. Purport. In the condition of dreaming, when one's consciousness is almost covered, one may see many unfavorable things which cause disturbance or anxiety. But upon awakening, although he remembers what happened in the dream, he is not disturbed. Similarly, the position of self-realization or understanding of one's real relationship with the Supreme Lord makes one completely satisfied, and the three modes of material nature, which are the cause of all disturbances, cannot affect him. In the contaminated consciousness, one sees everything to be for his own enjoyment. But in pure consciousness of Krishna consciousness, he sees that everything exists for the enjoyment of the Supreme Enjoyer. That is the difference between the dream state and wakefulness. The state of contaminated consciousness is compared to dream consciousness, and Krishna consciousness is compared to the awakened stage of life. Actually, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, the only absolute enjoyer is Krishna. One who can understand that Krishna is the proprietor of all the three worlds, and that he is the friend of everyone, is peaceful and independent. As long as the conditioned soul does not have this knowledge, he wants to be enjoyer of everything. He wants to become a humanitarian or philanthropist and open hospitals and schools for his fellow human beings. This is an illusion, for one cannot benefit anyone by such material activities. If one wishes to benefit his fellow brother, he must awaken his dormant Krishna consciousness. A Krishna conscious position is that of Pratibudha, which means pure consciousness. Yatha pratibhudasya prasvapo bhakvanartha vrit saeva pratibhudasya navaimahaya. In the dreaming state, one's consciousness is almost covered, and one sees many inauspicious things, but when he is awakened and fully conscious, such inauspicious things cannot bewilder him. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Rudaya Srimati Bhakti Vijnana Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine Panchakalpatarudesya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yogadharma Bhavamande Jagat Priya Karo Tantah Pradishimamo Vajimamaka Suktam Sanjeevayati Khila Shakti Dharasvadhamna Anyamscha Hasta Charana Shravana Prada Pranam Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubbhyam Svasyasta Vishwasya Kala Prasnagatam Yayantu Budhani Shivam Vidhodya Manascha Badam very happy with all of you in this country. And Kapila Dev, in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in this particular chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, Understanding of Material Nature, explains the process of liberation, which is the mixed process mixed bhakti combined with jnana. We have to be very clear what's exactly being spoken by Kapila Dev. He knows that many people in this material world cannot really trust the simple process of bhakti. This process is too simple. And because we are complicated, it's sometimes difficult for us to relate to this simple process. The simple process of bhakti is Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Arjuna Vandanam Satyam Satyam Atmani Vedana. And it basically means just by hearing about Krishna, speaking about Krishna, we concentrate our mind on Krishna and surrender completely to Him. Atmani Vedana is coming at the end of this verse as a result of hearing, thinking about Krishna, speaking about Krishna. We ultimately understand I have nothing to do with this material world. I have to surrender to Him. I have to submit myself to His supreme will and follow His instructions. And because of this attitude, Krishna becomes naturally moved and He gives us all the desired things and ultimately gives us liberation. This mudra of surrender is a very significant mudra. This is the mudra of surrender when we fold our hands in front of our heart. And this mudra is called Anjali in Sanskrit, and the meaning of this Anjali mudra is very significant because it's Amjalayati iti Anjali. The idea behind this mudra is that this mudra, when you really supplicate yourself, when you really become humble and you say, I cannot do anything, I can only serve you, please be merciful unto me. Amjalayati, Am means water or tears. Amjalayati, when you really humbly approach somebody that invokes in him so much compassion towards you that he starts crying. If you're really sincere in this process, if you are proud yourself, but like you can do this in computer, sometimes they put it like this, it's emoji or whatever it's called. It has no meaning. But if you invest your heart into this mudra, and mudra basically is the external process which helps you to bring your consciousness accordingly to this condition. So when you do this, when you really, really mean it, and you say, yes, I'm yours, I depend on you, I completely depend on you, I'm not independent anymore, then the other person becomes very moved by this. So moved, so much so that he starts crying, and then naturally he will do whatever we like to do. So that's a simple process of surrender when we are not dependent on our own strengths. But, because it's too simple, complicated people don't trust it. They need to understand it rationally and logically. And therefore, for such people, and we are such people, we are very rational people. This whole modern culture, which is coming from the West, is extremely rational culture. This is the problem of Western culture, which actually infected the whole world. Everyone is now trying to be very scientific. In the Vedas it is just surrender, just do whatever you're supposed to do, and everything will be okay. It is said that Vedas, they teach like a king. And how the king teaches, king doesn't explain to you what he wants. He says, just do it. It doesn't go into, long explanation why you should do it, how it is good for you. Just do it. And in ancient India, people were trained from their childhood. If somebody superior tells you to do, you do it without asking why you should do it, what is the reason behind it. But in the modern world, it doesn't work like this. In the modern world, we need lengthy and very elaborate explanation, and then after hearing this explanation, we'll scratch our head and we'll think a little bit, and then maybe we'll do it, but not very likely. Really trying to understand everything rationally, and for such people, Kapila Dev explains this mixed process. There is a pure devotional service, which is simple in one sense and difficult in another sense. It's difficult because our ego doesn't like simple processes, and our ego doesn't like to surrender. That's the main problem. Our ego doesn't want to bend too much. In yoga, people, they're trying to bend themselves. To make themselves flexible. But the more they're bending the body, the more stiff the ego becomes. I remember I was once with one, I came to very famous here nowadays. I mean, full of awe and reverence to what he did. But the home was, before you enter his home, there are bas reliefs of him doing different yoga asanas. Standing in this position, and one leg, the other leg is like this, and he's like this. And you see, very, let's put it in a nice way, he's full of dignity of doing this yoga. I mean, the foundation of this yoga process is that you do it yourself. I am doing it. I am saving myself. And therefore this ahankar is very much involved in this process. I am doing it. Ahankar means, this ahankriti bhav means, I am the doer. And the underlying idea is that I can save myself just by doing all these postures, just by bending myself here and there, But, you may bend yourself. It's nice. It's nice for the body, but ultimately, you may be born next time in a very flexible body. But what is the ultimate benefit? I know such people. They're born from the previous life. They're yogis. They're very flexible. But, ultimately, there is no use of it. So, therefore, Kapila he explains that the heart of the process of yoga is this surrender. And surrender ultimately means I'm thinking about Krishna. Ego means I'm thinking about myself, how great I am, how capable I am, how skillful I am, how intelligent I am, how shrewd I am, how good I am. Like Radhanath Maharaj, he gave a very nice definition of humility. He said, humility does not mean to think about oneself as less. Humility means you think less about yourself. Sometimes people think that humility means you think about yourself. No, humility just means you don't think too much about yourself. That's what humility means. Whereas in our present condition, we are very self-centered. We are very self-conscious, and we always think about ourselves, how I will enjoy, now, how I will enjoy when this stupid class will finish, how I will enjoy when again back on the street, how I will enjoy next week, how I will enjoy, next month, how I will enjoy when the vacation will come. This is always the plans, and therefore, in this particular section of Bhagavad Gita, or Srimad Bhagavatam, Kapila first of all explains that if you want this process of liberation, if you want to go this path, then first of all you have to understand, as he said in the previous verse, he said, Drishta dosha cha nitya shama ukta bhoga parityakta. By giving up all these endeavors of bhukta bhoga, of trying to enjoy in this material world, you see the faults, always see the faults of these endeavors to enjoy in this material world. So this is the first understanding. You tried it. You tried different things. You moved from India to Abu Dhabi. Very conscientiously try to enjoy it. It doesn't work. It doesn't work in India, it doesn't work in Abu Dhabi, it doesn't work in America. It doesn't work even in the heavenly planets. There are so many doshas out there. You try, you sincerely try to be completely happy. It just doesn't work. Because your body is there, your mind is there. Even if there is no problem outside, your mind will create some problem. Mind is an amazing creature. There is no cause for anxiety, and the mind thinks something is wrong. There is no cause for anxiety. There should be anxiety. Let's figure it out. What is the cause? And he invents some cause. What will happen tomorrow? What will happen next year? What will happen, in 20 years? In 20 years, you may not be here. No problem. We still think always, the mind is disturbed all the time. And therefore, Kapila says, Drishta dosha, first condition question is that you should see that this attitude of being an enjoyer through the false ego. The false ego actually is the instrument of enjoyment. I'm the doer. I'm the greatest. I'm the most important person. I'm such a rich person, skillful person, this and that. This is how we're trying to enjoy. This is a Hankiti Bhav. I am. And no matter who I am, it doesn't matter who I am. I am the enjoyer. And you should see that actually this material nature is designed in such a way that it doesn't allow you to be the enjoyer. That's the way of this material. Sometimes people, they come to God and they say, God, why you are so cruel? Why didn't you make this world a nicer place? They can't understand, or sometimes they say that God really wanted to make this earth as a nice place, but it didn't work. He's not perfect enough to do it, but he's trying. It's like, IT engineers, they make some better version of a program. And then, they give it to some users, and they use this program, and they find the bugs in the program, and they, go back to this engineer and says, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and he corrects it. Some religions, like Jewish religion, they say that God created this world. It's not so perfect. We're using this world, and we're complaining to him. This is wrong, this is wrong. So he will create the next version of this, which will be better. So you are co-creator, you are so-creator, you are trying to create together with him. No. God knows what he is doing, believe me. If he did this world in this way, he meant it. he really did it. And he himself says in Bhagavad Gita very openly, Dukhalayam asashvatam. He's full of mystery. He doesn't say Sukhalayam. This world is Dukhalayam. Dukhalaya. It's like, there's Vidyalaya, there's Bhojanalaya, there's Dukhalaya. This is the place of Dukha. This is the place which is specifically created for some problems. Why? Because the Lord wants to teach us that it's not our real position to be the enjoyer. He gives us the facility to, for the time being, to pretend to be enjoyer. And for some time we may think, it works out. It's not so bad. Like there is this famous joke that once somebody decided to commit suicide, so he went up on this skyscraper, and he jumped from the skyscraper, and it's a high skyscraper, 100 stories high, and somebody is sitting on the floor number 50, and the guy is falling just in front of his window, and he hears that he is murmuring to himself, so far, so good. Not so bad so far. Yeah, not so bad. Just wait a little bit. So in a similar way, sometimes we think, so far so good. Not so bad. But the body becomes old. The body will die. So many diseases. So our ultimately Krishna says, first of all, you have to wake up. Basically, that's what the meaning of this verse, and your wakeful condition starts from understanding that you start becoming, woken up. You wake up from understanding that this material world is not designed for my enjoyment. It's not designed for me to be, unlimitedly and completely happy and undisturbed in this world. This world is designed to disturb us. This is a very disturbing place. And our mind is designed to be disturbed. So it's a very good combination. The world is disturbing us and the mind is easily disturbed. But we want peacefulness. Krishna himself says, Ashantasya Kudaksuha. How you can be happy without shanta, without peacefulness. If I understand this position, then we'll start seeking for some solution of this. And the solution is actually easy. The solution is to free the place in the center of our life. Instead of us being the center, instead of us trying to usurp the position in the center. If you are an usurper, rightly pronounce this English word, if you encroach, if you try to be in the center, then, like those people, you can read the history of, Muslim rulers in India, or history of, when they, like this Aurangzeb, he imprisoned his father, he killed his brother, his elder brother, just to become the king. They become the king. You can become some sort of ruler and control, but the problem, the price which you will have to pay is that you will always be distant. You will always be fearful. This position in the center, when you are in the center of your consciousness, it's the position of fear. Because it's wrong. It's against our nature. And therefore, it is explained in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhayam Dvitiya Viniveshatasya Vishada Vedasya Viparya Smriti. Bhayam Dvitiya Viniveshatasya. When our consciousness is absorbed, Abhinivesha, when it's absorbed when our consciousness completely enters, Abhinivesha means, we all know Pravesh means entrance, right? Griha Pravesh, when we enter the home. So Abhinivesh, Abhini, these two prefixes in Sanskrit means completely, both. So, in this verse, it's very emphatically states, when your consciousness completely enters into the matter. And this is what happened with us. Our consciousness is completely absorbed in the matter. It just entered the matter. It's there. We're completely identifying with this body. For us, I know this body is a theory. It's not practice. It's a theory. How is it I'm not this body? I'm this body. I pinch myself. I feel it. That's when I am the body. In this verse it is said, Bhayam Dvitiya Vinivesha. Dvitiya, the Prakriti means Dvitiya. It's secondary. Lord is the primary. He is the Prathama. He first. But when your consciousness is absorbed in Dvitiya, in secondary creation, then bhayam, then you become fearful. Bhayam Dvitiya viniveshataksya. And then you neglect God. In this material condition, in this material consciousness, yeah, people sometimes believe in God, but it's they only remember about God when something goes wrong. When something goes right, they don't go to God. Like it was said that during this crisis, when in 9/11, when in September of when was it? In September of 2011? No, 2001, right? Yeah, on 9/11, when this crisis was there in America, usually in the internet, the most often asked question when people they're searching the internet, always the place number one for searches is the word sex, because that's the way to enjoy. But when this happened, for the first time, the number one was God. Because of this crisis, because people understood that something is wrong, they only remember about God when there is some problem. Otherwise, they only remember about sex, about enjoyment. They're searching for enjoyment in this material world. They're not searching for God. And this is exactly what is being said. Bhayam dvitiya viniveshataksya ishat atetasya. Atetasya means, we neglect God. We forget about God. Ishat atetasya vipariyaya smriti. Our memory becomes bewildered. Our memory becomes distorted. Ishat atetasya vipariyaya smriti. Our smriti becomes vipariyaya. We only remember about this material world. Even if we try to remember about God, it's very difficult. Extremely difficult to remember about. How do you remember about God? You have to remember about so many other things. What I will have in the breakfast, what I will have during the lunch. So many things you have to remember. And God, yes, once a day you may remember about Him. But it is said that, when you understand that this is faulty position, that this is a mistake, that this is something which is unnatural, why all these problems and calamities that come upon us? Because we're encroaching the position which we're not in. We're not the center of this world. And, then we always will feel anxiety and problems. Srila Prabhupada here says, what is the solution? Solution is to put Krishna in the midst. He is the enjoyer. Bhaktaram yagya tapasam sarvalokam yeshvaram sukridam sarvabhutanam yatmamam santirvich. As soon as you know this, santirvich, you'll become peaceful. Like Srila Prabhupada, once he was giving the lecture. It was a big lecture, and there were some new people, and Srila Prabhupada was explaining them that one should chant Hare Krishna. So, after the lecture, somebody raised the question and said, Swamiji, what do you feel when you chant Hare Krishna? How do you feel when you chant Hare Krishna? And his answer was, I feel no fear. He thought a little bit about this. And it basically means I feel completely peaceful. I'm not in this world. I'm not of this world. Krishna is in the center, so why do I have to worry about it? There's no cause for me to worry about it. He will worry, Let the headache be his. I'm his servant, no problem. And he is capable of freeing me from all this kind of And that means to be awake. As long as we are trying to imagine that I'm in the center and I'm enjoying, this enjoyment is just a dream. It's a dream. I know one, I have a friend that is a local Prajapasi, and for him the highest enjoyment is to go to ISKCON restaurant and to take pizza. There is this very nice in MBT, there's nice pizza. You may have this understanding that pizza is an enjoyment. For how long does enjoyment last? Especially if you overeat this pizza. You take 2 big pizzas and you're suffering after. You're trying to enjoy, but for how long it lasts? It's a dream. As much as we have so many dreams, and these dreams, they sometimes pleasurable. Sometimes in a dream you fulfill your dream. That's why it's called dream. You may be dreaming while you're awake, and you're dreaming about some future, or you may be dreaming while you're asleep. Dreaming is dreaming. You're just dreaming. Like recently, I was in one city. There was this, was a big shop, and the name of the shop was selling sofas and all kinds of beds and other furniture. And the name of the shop was Dream World. So we're living in the dream world. We're living in a world where everyone is dreaming. Dreaming about, future enjoyment. And we're always in this future, trying to enjoy this way or that way. But as it is said, when you are apratibuddha, or apratibuddhasya, prasvapaha, the one who is prasvapaha, deeply in sleep. Svapaha means somebody who is sleeping. Prasvapaha means deeply in sleep. The one who is deeply in sleep, baho anartha breath, he experiences all kinds of anarthas, all kinds of disturbances are there. Because what is dream? Dream is that when you are in contact with your subconscious mind. When your buddhi, your wakeful intelligence is completely shut down. Like in this wakeful state, our buddhi is operating. And our buddhi is connected with our senses. And we're trying to enjoy this world through our buddhi. And buddhi becomes tired. And buddhi says, I need some vacation. And he goes to sleep. But then the mind says, no, I will be awake. The subconscious mind, while we're sleeping, subconscious mind is taking the supreme position. In the wakeful state, the buddhi is operating, but and subconscious mind is somewhere, he's relegated in the secondary position. But when we're sleeping, the mind, with all kinds of memories and impressions, starts, ruling our consciousness, and the mind says, let's do this, and some samskara surface. And we see it, and we, something which we experienced before, and then another samskara, and another samskara. And because most of the samskaras, most of our memory is the negative memory. We remember, it's very important to know that most of our subconscious mind is an accumulation of negative experiences. Positive experience, they come and go, they are not really stick in our mind. But negative experience, because it's so painful, it's recorded very deeply within our mind. Sometimes we are very angry, when we're sleeping. Sometimes we're crying when we're sleeping. Sometimes because of this storage in our memory. So much negativity is there in our mind. And therefore it is said, Parasvapaha Bahuanartapri. For somebody who is sleeping, like sometimes Prabhupada says, you see a tiger in sleep, or you see a snake in sleep. So in the same way, in this material world, most of the experiences are negative. This disturbance, that disturbance, this fear, that fear, this enemy, that enemy. They have so many unpleasant things. So many unpleasant things. This disease, that disease. This political leader, that political leader. It's all very unpleasant to remember about this in the sleep. Especially now. We're living in such a turmoil world. The whole world is war is going on. And of course, the war is always going on. China is threatening India. They don't know we have nuclear weapons. It's troublesome war. Troublesome war. And it is said, Yadharya Pratibudasya Parasvabha Bahu Anarthakrit. As much as, or for somebody who is living, experiencing so many bad things, but when he awake, there's all these memories cannot really disturb him. The subconsciousness does not disturb us so much during wakeful state, right? All these negative things, you're there, you're interacting with the world in a productive way. In the similar way, when we awake to Krishna consciousness, all the memories of the past years will not disturb us anymore. And that problems will be there. Problems will remain in this material world. I often tell one story about it was a very troublesome moment, they were fighting in Juhu for the temple, Mr. Nair was there, the court cases were there in America, the programmers were there, he's the leader, he's 70 plus years old, he's the leader of this new religious movement, which is full of completely wild hippies, and they create so much problems, and he is responsible for everything. And the problems are in India, problems in America, problems in Europe, problems in Australia, and he is in the middle of this. And and the huge crisis is going on, and then telegram comes to Srila Prabhupada, and this telegram contains some very disturbing information. He reads this telegram very calmly, he closes it down, and he goes to his room. And his secretary at that time, it was Harikesh Maharaj, he looks in the keyhole what he's going to do. And Srila Prabhupada lays down on the floor and starts laughing. He just lost it out. This is a dream. This is a dream. This is nothing but dream. All these things, they will go. They will be gone. What will remain? Krishna will remain. Krishna will remain. My relationship with Krishna will remain. My service to Krishna will remain. Whatever I do in trying to serve Krishna, and trying to chant holy name, it will stay with me. It will not be gone. It will not disappear. It will not vanish like a dream. And therefore it is said that as much as the dreams cannot disturb us while we are awake, when we are awake in Krishna consciousness, when we know the reality, God is in the center. God is in control. He means good. He is merciful. He wants us to flourish. When we have this understanding, then we become peaceful. Bhaktaram yagya tapasam sarvalokam. Srila Prabhupada explains this verse in the purport. When you understand that Krishna is Bhakta, you're not the Bhakta. This is actually this formula, this peace formula means that you have three very clear understanding. Krishna is the enjoyer, I am not the enjoyer. Very clearly. Krishna is the controller, I am not the controller. Krishna is the friend, I am not the friend. You know, if you have these three understandings, I am not the controller, I am not the enjoyer, and I am not the best friend of everyone. I am not the benefactor. I am not the, as Prabhupada says, because sometimes people, they're disturbed in this way. I am the best friend of every, This position is already occupied. The best friend is somebody else. You should not, this is our three ways to become God. This is our three ways to attempt to become God. Either you want to become the enjoyer, or you want to become the controller, big ruler, prime minister, this and that, president. If you cannot become the president of the country, you become the president of the temple. If you cannot become the president of the temple, you become the president of some little Namahata, Yeah. But if you understand, I'm not the enjoyer, I'm not the controller, and I'm not the best friend of everyone. Yes, I'm trying to be friend to some people, I'm trying to help, but sometimes, people become very disturbed, I was doing so much to this person and he's so ungrateful, because you're not the best friend. Because you're not, you think that you're the best friend of everyone. No, you're not the best friend of everyone. And if you realize this, I'm not enjoyer, I'm not controller, I'm not the best friend of everyone. I'm just, dasa, no dasa. And I should remember about Krishna. Then I become peaceful. And how to remember about Krishna? Very simple. As I said, it's difficult to remember about Krishna because we have to remember about so many other things during our wakeful state. But what is the way to remember about Krishna? Very simple. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare. That's the only way to remember about him. Otherwise, we'll forget about him. So again and again and again, we have to remind Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And because of this remembering, ultimately we will see God, we will see Krishna. Because of this process of chanting, trying to chant it constantly, even if we cannot do it consciously, we can do it still in the mind all the time. We will never commit mistake. We will be with Krishna. As it is said in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni, he explains his experience. He saw Krishna once, and then Krishna told him, "You will not see me anymore." But then he says, what happened with him? He said, then after that, happily I was wandering through this material world without any shame, because I was not afraid, and I was always singing the glories of Krishna, and I was chanting his holy name. And then when the death came, when the moment of death came, I didn't even notice it. It just was like a flash of lightning. I just, the flash of lightning, I changed the body. From one body, I obtained spiritual body. Without even notice. We all know that it's such a difficult, painful process of dying because we're still attached to the body. And the time says, Krishna in the form of time says, it's time for you to leave the body. And the spirit soul says, no. And pulls in this direction. And the soul it's so painful. But when you remember about God, are waiting for you. Just say Hare Krishna. Goodbye, everyone. Going. So, yeah. But of course, it requires some endeavor. It requires, therefore, I think that in this chapter he says, keep learning about the yoga. You have to do it in a very intense way. But still, the facility is there. And if you remember about it, you take easy on the problems. The problems, again, will remain. But your reaction, your perception of the problems will become completely different if you're Krishna conscious. Problems will remain, but you still become happy despite of the problems. Now you are unhappy despite of that everything is nice, you still unhappy. But when you're Krishna conscious, you will be happy despite of all the problems which are there. That's it. Thank you very much. Questions?
For example, your diet apparently it's like those kind of emotions, but that really not disturbed, but just for
The emotions will be there. But these emotions, see, the problem is not the emotions themselves. The problem is that the emotions take over us completely. And the emotions become so strong that we forget about Krishna and service of Krishna. You know, the emotions will be there, but they will not be able to overpower us. They will not be able to take over our consciousness completely. That's the difference. You know, you may be emotional, but still you remember, Krishna is there, I am his servant. No, I don't understand why this happened to me, but I'm still his servant and I will continue with his service. And that's exactly what happened with Arjuna. Arjuna, yes, he was emotionally affected by the death of Abhimanyu, but still he continued his service. For us, you know, if this would happen, we would be in depression for 2 years. We would take antidepressant drugs. And then gradually, we will come back to our senses and we will come to Krishna and say, okay, so the battle is still going on. I'm ready to fight again. Next day or the same day, he was still, no, he was not swayed by this. He was not overwhelmed by these emotions. So emotions are like that. Prabhupada sometimes he was emotional. Still he was
The mind is overpowering.
Yeah.
But these are the two distinct states, awakened and sleep. Most of us are in this. We are accepting that we are trying to go to awaken, but we are most of the time in this state. So somebody that everything is all right, strong faith in Krishna, they think whatever is happening, distressful things, they don't affect a waking person. But because we are in a process, and faith gets weakened when we don't get still there are desires that things will be all right and they don't become all right and the faith goes down. So how do we deal with ourselves in that situation when we are not fully awakened and we are
Yeah, people, why do they remember God? They think that God will help them in this difficult situation. And sometimes God doesn't help. Sometimes He helps. Many times He helps. Like, I have a disciple, he's fighting there, he was fighting there, just right there. And he said that, all the soldiers who he was fighting, they all died. And, many times a day, I could feel that Krishna is protecting me. It's like 40 people in my military, they all dead. I'm the only one who survived. So Krishna was always there, and I could see the miracles were happening. So many times we can see that Krishna is helping us in this stressful condition to strengthen our beliefs. But sometimes He wants to test our faith. And He wants to, you have to undergo some problems, yes. According to your karma, according to your position, according to the things which you have to learn some lessons in a hard way. But you're right, because we are in this in-between stage, when this stressful condition comes, our face becomes weak. So, the solution to this is that it basically means that it was not strong on the first place. When somebody has very strong faith, that all this stressful circumstances do not really disturb his faith. On the contrary, he becomes more convinced. So the solution is try to fortify our faith by studying more deeply and by associating with devotees while we are in a seemingly auspicious condition. Then we will not be disturbed when it comes. So therefore, we should not be complacent because sometimes people say, I'm okay now, so why should I endeavor too much in this Krishna consciousness? Yes, you're okay now. So far, so good. The time will come when you will be not in such a nice situation. So it's a question of strengthening our faith. And not only strengthening our faith, but also deeply meditating on Krishna and on us as the soul, which is not really connected with the body. And we remember this. Like recently, I got a book, an interesting book. It's called I don't remember exactly the name, written by one Bengali gentleman, who explained elaborately the Vedic process of Sandhavandana and how complicated it is, how many mantras you have to chant to meditate on God. And in the very beginning of this book, he gives the schedule of a person in Vedic culture. And there, this person in the Vedic culture, he has in the morning, he wakes up, he takes a shower, then he meditates on Krishna, chants his mantras, and he does this yagya and then that yagya. So, Vedic culture, he used to work 1.5 hours. The rest he was in different rituals. This yagi, that yagi, this mantra, this chanting, that chanting. Yeah, associating with the members of the family, going to the friends, taking his meal. 1.5 hours, that's it. The rest he was meditating on God. So, and this is the intensity of the practice. When you are so much absorbed in this, then, something comes not so much disturbed. Because you're already programming yourself. But we are programmed in a different way by this material world. This material world doesn't allow us this. We can't come to our boss and say, I only have 1.5 hours. The rest I have to think about God. It doesn't work like this. We have to be actively involved and do so much, business, this and that. But still, the facility is there. Hare Krishna mantra is there. So if you try to consciously concentrate your mind, even while doing this, somewhere in the back of your consciousness, you still chanting Hare Krishna. Then when the disturbance comes, you will be in the safe place. When you create in your heart a safe space where you, the soul, are together with Krishna, then you know where to take shelter when the disturbances comes. It's like, if there is a big, calamity, some earthquake or whatever, but you know that there is a place which will not be affected by this earthquake. You run to this place. So in the same way, if you create this little space in your heart, this is me, the soul which is there in the heart, and Krishna is there also in the heart, and I am looking at him. And he's looking at me, and we're looking at each other, and we're happy each other. And when the calamity comes, we still can run there.
long time. So it comes
So see, yeah, these impressions are very strong, but these impressions, when they come and we are awake, uh, we don't have to follow these impressions. We just say, yes, this impression is there, it's gone. You don't pay too much attention. When you are in a sleeping state, you're completely absorbed in all these impressions of your subconscious mind. And you are there completely. But when you're wakeful, in a wakeful state, then you can direct your mind from these impressions. Don't pay attention too much to these impressions. Yeah, some bad things may come, some bad thought may come, some bad image may come. Either of our experience or something which we saw in the internet or whatever. Yeah, this is the nature of the mind. We are in this world which is very contaminated, so much bad, negative energies there. So don't pay attention. Yeah, it's there and it's gone. Water under the bridge. That's what they call in America. It's water under the bridge. Don't pay too much attention. You are in control. You are capable of doing this. And, by willpower, you direct your mind back to Krishna. That's it. But in the dream state, you are helpless, and you have to be absorbed in this. In your wakeful state, you can direct your consciousness according to proper.
Mahatma is smaller than some cases it is expressed that I'm not sure.
It's this, all these descriptions which are there in the Vedas, is for us, is the guide to meditate. Paramatma can take any size. It's not a problem for Paramatma. It doesn't. Yeah, yeah. Another name, Mahatma. But, that's when these descriptions are there, that's the meditation guide. That's how we should meditate on Paramatma. That Paramatma isn't there in the area of our heart and he has this eyes. Yeah, and the lotus, it's clearly the guidelines for us to meditate, how we should meditate. You cannot meditate on 10,000. It's too little to meditate. So you have to meditate on somebody who has some symbol or size which is proper. And therefore, this is explained how we should imagine, how we should meditate, how we should concentrate. And then Paramatma accordingly, Yat Yat Diyo Tat Tat Vapu, it is explained in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, that as you meditate on Krishna, he takes the same form. Yat Yat Diyo, what is your meditation? Tat Tat Vapu. It takes the same Vapu, the same form according to your meditation. Yeah, there is a rule. There is a rule. This is a rule for your meditation. This is how you should meditate. But definitely it's the experience of some sages when meditate they can see that the soul is. But then, of course, he is inside the soul. That's also true. But when it is said in Upanishads that soul is 1/10,000 part of the devotee hair, it basically means that it doesn't have material size. That's another way to understand this. We should understand that soul is not a part of this material world. So, from material point of view, it's just a point. It's not, again, it's not literal that thousands part of the hair. It's just to understand that it's a point. It doesn't have material size. But at the same time, it's anantyaya kalpate.
Then what curious
The purest devotee sees Bhagavan. He sees, as it is explained in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, he sees everywhere that everyone is related to Bhagavan and he sees his own love to Bhagavan in other people and in other objects. Like gopis, when they in Dhamma Gita, they see the deers and they explain how the deers look at Krishna and how they're completely in love with Krishna. Deers may not be completely in love with Krishna, they're stupid fellows. But gopis, they have their love for Bhagavan and therefore they see the love for Bhagavan everywhere. They see somebody, he's a beginner, he's a pure devotee, but somebody is just started chanting, he loves Krishna. We don't love Krishna, he loves Krishna. So this is the vision of purest devotee. The purest devotee, he sees that everyone is loving his Bhagavan with whom he is in love. And sometimes he sees Bhagavan somewhere, like Lord Chaitanya. He says, oh, Krishna was there, and he runs and Krishna disappears. But he sees love everywhere. That this whole world is full of love. That's what he sees. Okay, I guess that's it. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki